Good morning, world. Welcome back. How are you? How are you? Hope you're doing well. And I hope it's the Nathan Ivy Show where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are allowed to be men. In fact, I expect you to be a man on this show. And of course, lames get the planes shot down like John McCain. Welcome back. It's the last honest place in Cincinnati media, if not America. Hosted by your humble host, Nate Ivy. Good morning to you. On today's show, I want to talk about numerous things. I want to talk about 420. I think marijuana can be reparations. I'm going to share with you my thoughts on how marijuana can be reparations. Today is 420, right? Also, America is watching the Derek Chauvin trial. What happens if Chauvin walks? What happens if he's not convicted? I've got a strong opinion I want to share with you this morning. Listen, I'm going to give you about 90 seconds to like and in particular share today's show. When you share the show, quite frankly, more people see it. As simple as that. Good morning to you, friends. Welcome back. Glad to see everybody. I hope that my voice is finding you in a great place. All right. So just give it about 90 seconds, then I'll put the cam up and we'll get started. Good morning. All right, good morning, everybody. How are you? Good morning, good morning. Welcome back. All are welcome. Maybe drowned out by the music. All are welcome. Welcome back. I want you to take a second and think about this, and something tells me that many of you already have. What happens if former officer Derek Chauvin, the man responsible for the death of George Floyd, on trial right now for his life, the entire world is watching? What happens if he's not convicted? What happens if he walks? I'd like to get your thoughts on that this morning. And you can always share your thoughts at 513-873-7134. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Broadcasting live from beautiful but cold Cincinnati. Yeah, I saw the weather. I'm like, wait a minute. This is April. We doing this in April? It's about to get super cold in April, like winter like cold in April. Like, what in the hell? We're living in the last days. And those days are preceded by the last days of common sense. We've been talking about it for some time, family, so get ready for it. It's crazy. The cicadas are coming. Are we going to survive 2022? I don't know. But we'll talk about it here on the Nathan Ivy Show no matter what happens. Yeah, this is my home studio. This is what it looks like every day, all day. It's where I do what I do. This is where I live. You can see the family photos of the family and medium Buddha when she was a kid. It's always interesting when you have two children, right? Because my daughter is older than my son by 9 years. And so of course we have lots of pictures of our children, of her. So when you have a second child, like you don't just get rid of the pictures that you have of just your first child, right? But there's a part of you that feels like, wait a minute, should I just only put up pictures of both of my children? I don't know. It's just for folks who got multiple kids, it's something you got to think about, or you might have thought about it. It's just spitballing. Last night, I had so much fun. I was helping my little sister. She might be watching. What's up, Kelly? If you're listening, good morning to you. I was watching her move. I got to tell you, there are a few things in life that I absolutely hate doing, and one of them is moving. Moving has to be one of the worst things ever. I don't care where you're moving to. It's just the process of moving is just such a pain in the you know what. But I had to help my little sis out. I can't leave her hanging. She was making a move, so big bro had to do what he had to do. I was up to like 12:30 last night. It took all damn night. It seemed like, and it seemed like we didn't even do a whole lot. But that's just how moving is, man. You ever help somebody move and they swear up and down? This is not what happened with my sister at all because she had a lot of things put in order. But you ever help somebody move and they swear up and down to you that they've got everything in boxes? All you got to do is grab the boxes. Just grab the boxes, right? You ever been there before? And then you arrive at their home and they're actually still putting stuff in boxes. I've experienced that before. That's what made me tell anybody who I know that I no longer move. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't moving the people, my wife, my children, I ain't moving. But of course, with my little sis, I got to take care of my little sister. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? I'm the oldest, right? I'm telling you, moving can be such a pain in the ass, man. Tell me you ain't never had that experience before. Family member, relative, they're like, please help me move. He's like, hey, listen, make sure you have everything already organized and everything in boxes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got everything in boxes. Everything. You get over there, they're actually putting stuff in boxes. Only got 16 more boxes. We already did 3. And you like stuck because now you're there. Right? Oh my God. Moving is such a pain in the you know what. Oh my God. Except for the highly organized. Like if you're highly organized all the time and you already got stuff organized and you got labels on everything, even then it's a pain in the ass. And it's just so expensive to pay someone. My sis was like, yeah, I was just going to pay a few guys. It was going to come over for a few hours, $270. I'm like, and that's only if you got everything already boxed up. So, man, such a pain, but it's life. What you gonna do? You can't leave your family hanging, right? Exactly. Got to do what you got to do. Life happens. I still got a water sewage problem. You can't pick it up, but the stench inside of the house is absolutely awful. So we got to take care of that today, hopefully. And it is what it is, and other things going on with my son that must be taken care of. Such is the life of a family man. What can I say? It is. I signed up for this duty, so I ain't complaining about it. It is what it is, family. Welcome to my world. And I got to deal with what's happening in the world around us as well, right? So the case now is with the jury as it relates to Derek Chauvin. And I want to know, what do you think? What happens if Derek Chauvin walks? What do you foresee? What should happen if Derek Chauvin walks? I think I want to go with that second one in terms of my strong opinion this morning. I want to give you a strong opinion about Derek Chauvin. I still got some residual thoughts about a topic that we spent some time on yesterday, and that's City Councilman Wendell Young. I thought about it overnight, and I'm still pissed about that. I mean, what an absolute embarrassment from the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. But people in Hamilton County, y'all like this kind of justice, don't you? Y'all like this. $250 per hour for what, a year? To arrive on charges that Wendell Young already admitted to. Initially, the Hamilton County prosecutor said, you know what, we're not going to do anything criminal. We're going to go through a civil thing. A local judge said, not enough evidence, not big enough to go forward. But see, this is how some people make their money. Like modern day slave catching almost, right? That might be a striking way to put it, but I don't know. I don't ever get a job like that. I wish somebody would pay me $250 to do nothing. To do nothing. I don't have to do nothing but read the paper. Oh, and then charge somebody with something they already admitted to. It must be nice. You got to be a white male to get a job like that in Cincinnati. Only white males get jobs like that in Cincinnati. Only white males. This man, special prosecutor. What's so special about a prosecutor who gets paid $250 per hour for months and months and months? I hope we end up getting the bill on this and we can actually decide whether this is a righteous endeavor for the money. To charge Wendell Young with, and I only laugh because to keep from crying, to charge Wendell Young with something that he's already admitted to. I mean, only in Cincinnati, right? Or maybe not. Only in Cincinnati. But again, local media won't talk about it from that angle. They won't talk about it, right? They pick and choose when they want to talk about wasting tax dollars, right? Investment in a black female on the banks. Oh, a waste of our tax dollars. Waste of our tax dollars. $1 million prosecution, Tracy Hunter. Hey, well, got to do it. Right is wrong. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. This city will, as long as we have, there's a few positions here in city in Hamilton County that as long as these individuals are there, we will never reach our apex. We will never become the county. We will never become the city that we all claim that we want us to be. As long as these individuals are in these positions, it is an embarrassment. I'm outraged as a taxpayer that this is how they want to spend my money. I'm outraged. I'm absolutely outraged. But you know what do I know? I'm just a citizen, just like you. Nothing more, nothing less. And in Atlanta, a black female was out with her boyfriend, right? As the story goes, and they get approached by a man. I think a man is driving past them, and the man starts catcalling at this female. Now she's already with her boyfriend, right? She turns down his advances. What does he do? You won't believe it. I'll share it with you in just a second. 513-873-7134. I'll say it again, my friends. We are living in the last days of common sense. Now, today is 420, so everybody's going to be talking about blazing it up, and they're going to be putting up memes of cannabis plants, and I'm sure Snoop Dogg memes are going to be everywhere. And I want to make this point. Everybody's talking about reparations. The reparations are right in front of us. It's called legal marijuana. It's called legal marijuana. We got an amazing opportunity. If they love us so much, and they care so much about, equity, and everybody's in favor of reparations, but the movement on it is so damn slow. But there is an amazing opportunity right in front of us. There's an amazing opportunity right in front of us, pardon me, for black folks to get reparations. You know what it's called? You know what it's called? It's called legal marijuana. That's what it's called. We should be making every effort possible to ensure that black folks, black entrepreneurs, get the first piece, the first and the biggest slice of the legal marijuana industry. That's what should be happening. Get that purple Urkel on. Everybody should get their purple Urkel on. I'm reading that in Ohio that there's plans to double the number of medical marijuana dispensaries. Y'all love black folks so much. Y'all need to make sure that black folks get a piece of that pie. Yeah. I mean, how many new industries that are going to be multi-billion-dollar industries, they don't just spring up every day. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right? We have a real opportunity to build black wealth, and I think it should be done with legal marijuana. Why? Because just think about how marijuana has been used to steal black wealth through court costs and fines and losing lost wages, lost opportunities, lost property. They use marijuana primarily in our neighborhoods to harass us, to retard our growth, and to steal our money, period. So now that it's legal, the only fair thing is to make sure that we get the biggest piece of the pie and that we are in line first, period. Period. That's the only thing I want to talk about on 420. I don't give a damn about getting high. I do give a damn about having more zeros in the bank account. Now that turns me on. Right? What about you though? 513-873-7134. We got an early call here. Let's go straight to it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be your first call on this glorious 420 day. And Mr. Ivy, before I get into my subject, I would like to ask how you feeling, sir?
Oh, I'm great. I feel great.
Because if I'm correct, helping your sister move was one of your first really physical activities since you started your new life journey.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
No, it's not correct. I go hard every day. No, that was
Oh, okay.
relatively easy.
All right. Okay. All right. Never mind then. But on this 420 day, I'd just like to give a shout out to this brother that I discovered yesterday scrolling through YouTube. He's called the Wall Street Trapper.
Mm-hmm. The Wall Street
People
Trapper.
need to check the Wall Street Trapper. You need to check this brother out. He did 2 bids in prison. I think his longest bid was 10 years. His story is unbelievable, Mr. Ivy, but the man educated himself on the stock market and Wall Street and how that whole thing operates. He's young, he's black, he's well connected to the community, to the culture. This man, I'm telling you, the Wall Street Trapper. And because it's 420 day, for those who don't really know a lot about stocks and they want to get involved, you can get what's called an exchange traded fund, where there's number of marijuana businesses or companies that are involved in the legal marijuana business, and you could purchase shares of the multiple companies involved in the marijuana business in an exchange traded fund. And if you go check out that brother on YouTube, the Wall Street Trapper, he'll lead you down that road to give you some of that knowledge. If you ain't been to the Ivy League school, you ain't been to college, and you don't know about this stuff. But Mr. Ivy, the reason I call, sir, your headline is the Derek Chauvin trial and what's going to happen if he's not found guilty on all 3 charges. Mr. Ivy, do you or are you aware of what Maxine Waters, Democrat representative from California, do you know what she did Saturday, Mr. Ivy? I'm sure you've heard about it.
Refresh my memory.
Okay, well, she went to Minnesota, to Baltimore Center, Minnesota, where the protesters were in front of the police station, where they've been for the past 6 nights. She shows up Saturday, Mr. Ivy, and the rhetoric that she used, basically saying, if the people, the protesters out there, don't hear guilty on all 3 counts, they should take to the streets, be more aggressive. She basically said similar statements or comments like she said before during the Trump administration, when she said, if you see anybody from that administration, you get up in its face. You surround them. You remember the trouble she got in for making those comments. So she did it again on Saturday. And yesterday, Mr. Ivy, while the jury had went back to begin deliberations, the defense for Derek Chauvin brought her up. Mr. Ivy, the judge told the Derek Chauvin defense team that because of the rhetoric from Maxine Waters in Minnesota, amongst all the protesters, that she possibly could give him a reason for appeal. Mr. Ivy, this went national. It was everywhere. But of course, we know how the mainstream media is. They kind of played it down. But it's everywhere now. So the fact that your title of your show is about this outcome of this trial. So just be prepared that regardless, if there is an appeal, what Maxine Waters said on Saturday in Baltimore Center, Minnesota, could be one of the reasons that this killer, Derek Chauvin, may not serve the maximum time in prison and possibly get acquitted of all charges because of some dumbass, desperate Democrat out there. Mr. Ivy, it was embarrassing. I hope you find the clip and play it, because I'm not going to push the the Black Not Democrat podcast. I did a little episode on it. I don't need to plug it anymore because I got 48 episodes. But Mr. Ivy, it was serious. It was serious, and I think you, as a proud, influential member of New Black Media, I think you need to put that out there and let your audience hear what this dumbass Democrat from California, Maxine Waters, went to Minnesota. Why the hell is she in Minnesota? But anyway, I'm about to get triggered. So on this 420 day, if you got them, smoke them. Drop Squad 52, the Black Not Democrat. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Have a nice day, people. Be safe in them streets.
Yeah, great call. Great call. And I appreciate you getting us started like that. You know what? Since you brought it up, I feel like I need to now. But I must be honest with you, fam. I've got a completely different take on it than you do. So I am aware of it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not upset about a damn thing she said. I think she was 100% on point. It's just amazing to me how everybody can hit the streets and protest except for black folks. Everybody can hit the streets. I bet you weren't saying this shit when these Tea Party members are running around here talking about taking my country back because a black man had been elected to be president. It's justifiable for everybody to get to the streets and peacefully protest, and even aggressively. Now, by aggressive, that means enduring, keeping up your stamina, being full frontal, confrontational. I got no problem with it. That's what the effing streets of America were made for, period. Simple as that. You want to get all patriotic about it? That's how this country was formed. Simple as that. And I've said the same thing. People should get out there and stay aggressive if he's not convicted. Because if they go home and have a little polite candlelight vigil, nobody's going to give a damn and will forget about it. It's only when the people get confrontational, get aggressive, stop listening to orders, start lighting shit on fire, start bringing up the tear gas, and stay for all that smoke. That's when the media starts to pick up on it, and that's when it really starts to touch the people. Now, am I for looting? No. But tell me America hasn't looted our communities. I'm not for it at all. But tell me America hasn't been looted and doesn't continue to loot our community. So that's a really complicated, mixed up bag right there. And then in terms of the appeal, come on, knock it off. Derek Chauvin, if he's convicted, his team is going to appeal no matter what Maxine Waters said. No matter what I say or anybody else, that's what's going to happen. He's going to put an appeal in. So on one hand, you want to criticize the media, but that's how you found out about it, the mainstream media. It's all over the place. So I don't have a problem with what she said. I don't care if she's from Minnesota or not. She's a representative of these United States. And although she represents primarily her constituents, we know that as congressmen and women, they make decisions that represent and reflect everybody. So, this is what time it is. This is the biggest, social justice moment of the calendar year. And I don't have a problem with what she said. I hope the protesters, number one, I hope Derek Chauvin is found guilty on counts. That's number one. If that doesn't happen, if people want to hit the streets and protest, then I have no problem with it. That's what this country deserves. Okay. And if they tear up the streets of Minneapolis or Minnesota, that's what Minneapolis deserves. Period. Simple as that. What I'm supposed to do? Cry? Who's crying for George Floyd? So what? That's what's insurance for. They'll be okay. Simple as that. They'll be okay. If you don't want the people to hit the streets in angry protests and start tearing ish up, then don't put your knee on the neck of a black man, kill him, and then set up in a system that acquits him. Simple as that. I'm supposed to cry. I'm supposed to be upset about what she said. She said the right thing. 100%. I got no problem with it whatsoever. She didn't say go out there and commit any crimes. She didn't say go out there and rob anybody. She said protest aggressively. Two completely different things. I know people want to conflate them because it fits their own selfish, narratives that they want to paint the protesters as, but I got no problem with it. Look at what happened in the city of Cincinnati. The ish didn't change. The ish didn't really start changing. People didn't really start paying attention to what was really going on until what? Until the people hit the streets aggressively. All that passive, you get pushed over. You get walked over. You get overlooked. You get forgotten. When your voice is loud and when it's enduring, when you're not going to go home when they tell you to, when they start making mass arrests, when it starts making the national news, when the smoke starts, that's when people starts paying attention. We way past all that. Well, just turn the other cheek. We way past them days. I ain't with it. So we just have a difference of opinion, brother. I have no problem with what she said whatsoever. She didn't say anything that I remember that was promoting lawlessness. She just said get more confrontational if no guilty verdict is reached. What's wrong with that? I got no problem with it. Now the Republicans are always searching for something to talk about. So anything Maxine Waters does, because they despise her. And she makes for a perfect target to Republicans because she's a woman, number one, and because she's a black woman, number two, and number three, because she's a black woman that's not afraid to stand up and tell people how she feels. So boom, boom, boom. For some of these Republican types, it just checks off all the boxes for her to be public enemy number one, right? But we're too smart for that. We think for ourselves. We know the difference between dumb-ish and real-ish, and that's some real-ish. I ain't got no problem with it. But listen, I'm gonna look for the video here. I think the folks over at Unicorn Riot, they do great work. I think they posted a video on Twitter. Let me see if I can put my hands on it, and then we can look for it for ourselves. Yeah, you know, hip to them. You should be, yes, and they do great work. They do great work. But again, we can always have a difference of opinion. All right. All right, that's just me. Again, I'm not your typical Cincinnati talk show host. I'm not gonna say the typical things. I don't think typically. I think outside the box because I think for myself, and it is what it is. Now, hopefully, that's something you can get into, and if not, it is what it is. Before we get too deep in the show, though, I just want to get a word from the day's sponsor. Again, these are not endorsements. I am not personally endorsing any candidates in any election. This is a media platform where people can purchase time to connect with the audience. Nothing more than that. All right, check this out.
Hello, I'm Mr. Same Old Same Old. I'm running for mayor.
Hold up. Haven't you run for a bunch of offices always promising change but doing nothing?
Yeah, but
nothing. I'm not voting for the same old politicians to clean up City Hall and create change. We need to vote Prophet for mayor. He will be bold, courageous, fair, and stop corruption at City Hall. I'm voting for Prophet. Prophet for people.
I'm Raphael Prophet, and I'm asking for your vote, as I will do what is right, what is just, and what is fair. Paid for by Prophet for Mayor, Dwight Crawford, Treasurer.
And again, I am not endorsing any candidates. That is not an endorsement. It's simply an ad. Nothing more than that. You make your own decision. You make your own decision, okay? Simple as that. All right, let's go straight to the choppers and say good morning. Let me go way, way back. Ray Rice here. She was first inside the chop shop. Good morning to you, Ray.
Get to the chopper!
Sharp Rice, good morning, Nate and the choppers. Good morning to you, Sharp. What's up, brother?
Get to
Drop,
the chopper!
who we heard from earlier. He writes, good morning, choppers. 420 day, yes it is.
Get to the chopper!
Yeah, I mean, on 420 day, I'm just saying that what we need to do is think about how marijuana can be reparations for our community. Just think about how marijuana was used as an instrument to harass us. Like how many black men and women, brown folks, non-white folks was harassed because the cops smelled some weed. Like, we have no idea how much wealth was transferred from our community through the legal system in fines, court costs, lost wages, lost opportunity. We have no idea. The number might be in the billions. So now nationwide, we got this brand new industry, right? Everybody's going legal, right? People getting paid out there, man. People getting paid. And for me, everybody's talking about reparations. Here's an opportunity to give reparations. I want to see black entrepreneurs at the front of the line in the state of Ohio. You know, they're about to double the amount of medical marijuana dispensaries. I would love to see, and I know this may be illegal, but I'm not against racial quotas, straight up. And before you say, oh, that ain't fair, Nate, you talking about fair? When has it ever been fair? Never. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't your community that redlined. It was our communities. So they're going to be doubling to, well, what it quick right now is 60 statewide dispensaries in the state of Ohio. There is a plan to double that to 130. What better way to build black wealth? Because, you know, people love their drugs. We love drugs in America. We love drugs in America. People love alcohol. Alcohol ain't going nowhere. All types, all varieties. We love it. And people love to smoke weed. The weed, as Stephen A. might say. All you got to do, and I do this on a daily basis, but on the weekend, the next time there's a very good, beautiful, again, I'm not trying to tell anybody, I'm just making a point here. The next time that we have a beautiful sunny day, the kind of day that makes you want to go to the park, you go over to Eden Park, go to the top of it, and you just drive through there. Just walk through there and see what you smell. It's in the air. It's like everybody's just in the park smoking. And I ain't got no problem with it. That's because people love marijuana. They love their edibles. They love it. That industry ain't going nowhere. You talking about what could be trillions and trillions of dollars. You talking about generational wealth to the end of mankind, right? And we need to make sure we get a fair share of it. You go back about maybe 4 years ago, there was a gubernatorial candidate in New York. It was a white female, as a matter of fact. And part of her slate was what I'm saying right now. She was saying, like, look, you know, everybody keep talking about reparations. There's so much gridlock on doing that on the federal level. What we can do is essentially, you know, make the legal marijuana industry, you know, reparations for black entrepreneurs. It makes perfect sense. I'll say it again, right? When marijuana and where marijuana is still illegal, it has been used and is still being used to harass black and brown folks, to harass you, to take money from you, to transfer your wealth and put it through the criminal justice system in the form of fines and court costs and fees and all this other kind of nonsense over something that grows out of the ground, marijuana. Even though alcohol is far more harmful to the human experience than marijuana will ever be. You know, black folks and brown folks were targeted. Well, now that we going legal, black folks and brown folks should be targeted for the multiple opportunities that are going to be out there to make that money. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And watch what I tell you. When marijuana goes legal in Cincinnati, oh, people are going to have a good time because Cincinnatians love their drugs. We love drugs in Cincinnati. We love alcohol. We love it. We love outdoor events, alcohol, and I can't remember else. Outdoor events, alcohol, and sports. We love it. And when you can combine all three of them, you wait until the Reds got marijuana-infused candies inside the ballpark. You wait until what I tell you. It's going to be lit and up down there. It's going to be packed. People are going to be having a good time down there. Watch. And when that happens, I would love to see some black entrepreneurs selling it, making money off of it, cashing in off of it. The same way they people was put down, was the money was taken from them. To me, it's a perfect thing. To me, it makes perfect sense. Now, how we do that, I'm not telling you I got it all the way figured out, but don't act like it can't be done. We can do anything when we get ready to do it. We can do anything when we get ready to do it. That's one thing I've learned. When we get ready to do it, we can do anything. We can do absolutely anything. But let me talk about Derek Cahivin here. I've even got some clips from the closing testimony from the defense and the prosecution, which I think is quite interesting. The defense basically is arguing that Derek Chauvin did what any other reasonable police officer would do. And I'm thinking, what? But what else does he have to argue? That's just police work. The defense, and again, every person in America, every American should have a defense, and this is what the defense is going to do. They're going to put together a legal argument, whether we think it's credible or plausible or unbelievable, right? It is what it is, right? But it's just amazing to me that this man walked in the court. I don't think I could do that, man. I really don't. Now, I'm not a defense attorney. You got to put your personal feelings to the side. But I don't. If I was, I don't know if I could use my talents to get a sucker like that off. I don't think I can do that. You know, if I was talented in that way, I don't think I could do that, even for the money. Quite honestly, I don't think I could do that. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure I couldn't do that. Get up there and make up some legal defense so this barbarian who put his knee on the neck of his brother just for the sake of what? Just for some sick power. I mean, I already told you what justice is. Justice would be George Floyd's family catching up with Derek Chauvin and handling him. That would be real justice, but that's not going to happen. The next level of justice would be that I don't believe in the death penalty even for Derek Chauvin. He might deserve it, but the next person who might be innocent doesn't deserve it. The next level of justice would be he spends the rest of his life in a cage, surrounded by brothers, lifers, who ain't got nothing to lose. Now, that would be the next level of justice, in my humble opinion, but y'all might think that's harsh. That's harsh. That ain't harsh. That's real. Pat writes, good morning. Brenda writes, happy Tuesday. Who is this? Stimmy Hardaway writes, good morning. If Chauvin walks, you folks gonna pray, march, and sing like you've been doing for centuries. Hashtag all middle. Okay, what you gonna do, all middle? Miss D writes, greetings. Noble Drew Ali writes, rise and shine, young stars. Bolt Moving. Black owned, very reasonable rates, best money ever spent. Okay. Bolt Moving, 513-391-7021. I don't mind shouting them out. Yeah, I was talking earlier about moving my sis yesterday. Man, when she asked me, man, I was like, oh, dear Lord. I was like, dear Lord, no. You ever had a family member or somebody close to you ask you to do something and you don't want to do that shit at all, but you got to do it because it's them. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. Oh, my God. I was like, and she hit me with it late, like the day of the move, right? This move been going on since Friday, right? She called me Friday like, hey, big bro, I need you. I'm like, oh, dear Lord. I'm on the phone like, no, I hate moving. But it's my little sis. I can't leave her hanging. You already know. So I had to come through for her. And of course she works, so we couldn't do it until after she works, which is after 6. It's just a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And then it's amazing how it's like, oh, it's going to take 2 hours. And it's like 4-5 hours later. And you're still moving. You're still moving. And, you know, to her credit, she had a lot. Most of the stuff was already boxed up. She did a lot of it on her own. Independent Black woman, the way our mother raised us. But still, it's just, only got a few boxes. Why people say only got a few boxes? It's like 17 boxes. That is not a few boxes. That's 17 boxes. And, you know, to me, it was just an extension of my workout. That's how I look. I was like, you know what? I'm getting it in every day, everywhere. Anyway, I'll just extend the workout and make sure I put some work on these muscles, this body. And that's how I looked at it, man. But, whew, man, you know what I'm talking about? Somebody asks you to do something, you like, oh, God damn it, I got to do this now. I mean, I'm just being real with you. I mean, I did it with a smile on my face. That's the other thing. If I do something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be bitching and moaning, complaining. I just don't do it. I'm going to have a smile on my face. We're going to get it done till the job is done. But, you know, that is not my favorite thing to do, man. And I'm just so glad she have everything boxed up all the way. You know, everything was boxed up and I didn't have to really, because I've moved Chairman Mom. I'm going to put my Chairman Mom out there. I've moved Chairman Mom before and she's older now. I remember like maybe the second to last time I moved her, she was like, everything's in boxes. Everything's in boxes. I get over there. It's only 3 things. It's only 3 boxes. Everything else is not in boxes. We had to box everything up. I'm like, oh, dear Lord, this is going to take all day. But, you know, when it's your mother, I mean, damn, I mean, she did push me out the birth canal. So I guess I owe her, right? I guess I owe her. Can't complain too much, but me and moving, oh, please don't call me. I'm just saying right now, please don't call me. Now, it always makes it better when they're going to feed you and pay you, right? when they're feeding you and paying you, that goes a long way. But just in general, it's like, oh my gosh. It's just not one of my favorite things to do. And guess what? We ain't over. We doing it again tonight. Tonight. We're doing it again tonight after 6. So I'm going to be moving again today. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord. But I can't leave my sis hanging, as I've said several times. She might be watching. Kelly, you know I love you. They ain't saying personal. You know I love you, sis. And Big Bro will be there for you. That's all I can say. Oh, gosh. Maybe today we finally get something right. Okay, what's up, Tori? Not sure what she's talking about. Good morning to you, Tori, by the way. Pat writes, good morning. Jordan writes, if Chauvin walks, we on the verge of a civil war. Oh, Tori, you talking about getting something right with Derek Chauvin? We're on the verge of a civil war. Are we on the verge of a civil war? Well, I can say this. I'm not close enough to Minneapolis or Minnesota to tell you and take the temperature of the people there. I cannot tell you how they're going to react there. Here's what I would say. My reaction to Derek Chauvin, it would be the same whether he's convicted on all charges or not. I feel like either way, in each and every city in America, we got work to do. Like, no matter what happens with Derek Chauvin, I think on some levels, the approach should be the same. And the approach should be looking at where you live, looking at the legal standards, the relationship between where you live and the police department that patrols and has purview over where you live, and asking yourself, what are the rules of engagement? What are those relationships? You know, what's in place to prevent something like that from happening where you live? No matter what happens with Derek Chauvin, I think that's what time it is. And that's the question people should be asking themselves. You should be asking yourself, can that happen here? What's stopping it from happening here? If it happens here, do we have, positive relationships with the various folks that comprise law enforcement, again, wherever you live? And trying to push for meaningful reforms. Like nationwide on the federal level, we need to be pushing to stop qualified immunity. Everybody's talking about it, and everybody that is talking about it is absolutely right. And I think on the local level, in each and every state in America, we should be pushing for the removal of those kind of civil protections as well. And also doing a full review down the line. And looking for, positive ways to reform those relationships and the rules of engagement. I think that should happen no matter what. No matter what, whether he is convicted or not convicted, that's what time it is. That's what's going to lead to some type of meaningful change and kind of make sense out of you talk about senseless death, out of the senseless death of George Floyd. Now, in terms of the immediate reaction and people hitting the streets, I hope people hit the streets all over the country and stay in the streets, because I think one will help the other, right? Like if people hit the streets and stay in the streets and the smoke starts to happen and it's on the news for 30 days and 30 nights or 40 days and 40 nights, make it biblical, then that's more likely to put pressure on the politicians around the country to move in a meaningful way for some type of reform. I don't think you can have one without the other. People try to act like you can, but I don't think you really can. Not what I've seen in my adult lifetime. Do I want to see people looting? No, I don't. How do I feel when I see people looting? Because that could happen. There's a lot of videos right now, people out there saying that looting, they have no problem with people looting during uprisings because they feel like Black people or brown people or oppressed people are owed that. And I understand where they're coming from. I do. Like, the reasons behind the difference in what Black wealth and white wealth is a road paved with pain, brutality, and a whole lot of illegal shit, right? So from that standpoint, I absolutely understand it. But essentially you would be punishing people who may have had nothing to do with it. But I understand it. I do understand it. I don't condone it. But I do understand where they're coming from. Are they right? Are they wrong? I mean, we can talk about it this morning. I'm here for the conversation. El Grillo writes, Grand Risings family. Tracy writes, if he walks, it's not going to be good for America. I keep hearing that. And that's like a warning, right? I take that as a warning and maybe a threat on some levels. Some people mean that as a threat. Um, I think there's a way to do everything, and I think that I think there's a way for people to hit the streets, stay in the streets, bring all the smoke, and walk that line so that their actions don't become necessarily the focus of the conversation, and it's really about the issue that's really pushing their actions. I think there's a way to do that, but I think that's a really fine line when people hit the streets. Me personally, the stuff that was happening in Cincinnati, I was here for all of it. I had no problem with it. Now I understand there were some downtown businesses that were unfortunately harmed, but what I would say to those business owners is, where are you for us? Where are you when these issues of social justice come up? Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't sit out, right? And all this bad stuff is happening to people in this country, right? And then get mad when those same people, it boils up and it hits the streets and starts to go to your front store, your storefront. You can't have it both ways. You can't sit out and then get mad when it comes to your doorstep. You cannot have it both ways in this country. You can't have it both ways. You're going to have to pick and choose. You're going to have to do something. Say something. Let me talk about Cincinnati. There's a whole lot of wealth in this city. There's a whole lot of real influential people in this city. There's a whole lot of folks that can make a few phone calls and make things happen. Are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? And if the answer is nada, well then, when the revolution knocks on your back door, I don't got no tears for you. I got the same thing for you as you had for, those people that were dealing with those issues. And that can be fair or not fair, but that's just the way it is, homie. It is what it is. You got to pick a side and do something about it, in my humble opinion, or not. You don't have to, but when a revolution knocks on your door, don't get the whining. I don't want to hear no whining and crying and moaning and blah, blah, blah. They knocked at my window. I don't want to hear all of that. I don't want to hear all that, because you stood by and you knew things was wrong and didn't do a damn thing. And you're an influential business owner. That's just how I look at it. And right, wrong, I'm just being honest with you. I don't condone anything that's not legal. If it's not legal, I'm not with it. I'm not for it. I'm not condoning it in any way. But this is America. My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty. Right? What you want me to do about it? Nat writes, good Tuesday, Facebook choppers.
Get to the chopper!
Tiffany writes, good morning. Good morning, Tiffany. Jerome is in the house. Jerome's in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate and the choppers. What's up, Greg? What's up, man? B ain't walking. He said he ain't walking, huh? Thank you for your support, brother. Appreciate you. Tracy writes, we doing snow for cicadas. Is that right? Why does somebody, this is nasty, right? I don't want to turn your stomach, but I'm going to bring it up anyway since I've talked about it. But somebody posted, I think CDB Magazine was posting recipes on how to eat cicadas. What in the, who out here doing that? That's what now? What we doing now? Hell no. I don't need that. There's some recipes I just don't need. I just don't need that. I'll pass. Oh my God. I saw something interesting though. It's called the Walking Pod Mesh. Have you seen this? It's a wearable mesh screen. It's like a bubble that you can put all over your body, and it'll protect you from cicadas. Hey, caller, please hold on. No, we ain't taking that call. Yeah, have you seen this? You got to see this. There's a photograph on CDB Magazine of a man who's he's mowing the lawn, and he's got this whole walking pod mesh thing all around. You want to see it? Y'all might want to pick this up. I know some of you folks are really like afraid of the cicadas and all this kind of stuff. This is like my third, fourth time around or something like that. I ain't really bothered by no damn cicadas. I think the noise is more irritating than them actually. I remember them. They'll crawl on you and do all kind of stuff. What's up, man? How you feeling? Do you? How you feel? Okay. You want to watch what with us? The cicada video. Oh, it's not a video. It's just an image right here. See that? That's like something you can buy to keep the cicadas off of you. You see that? That's what I want. That's what you see? And you can walk around with that. That's what I want. Okay. You want to say good morning real quick? Good morning. You want to get a little closer to the mic? They can't hear you unless you get close.
Good morning.
There you go.
Good morning, man. Good morning.
You're looking good. Here,
Good morning.
Take this brush. Get yourself together. Oh, what's all that for? That's not how you brush your hair. That's not how you brush your hair. They can't see you, buddy. They can't see you. No, you can see you, but they can't see you. Hold on 1 second. Now they can see you. There it is. That's not how you brush your hair, man. Okay. I love you. Can Daddy get back to work? I love you. I love you too. Can Daddy get back to work now? All right, so check this out. So this is called the the show goes on, right? This is called no, you can't sit there, bud. I wish you could, but you can't sit there right now. The Walking Pod Mesh is a warm climate, don't touch anything, wearable mesh screen bubble that opens up in seconds to slip easily over the upper body and is fully breathable. So you can still breathe and everything, but it'll keep the cicadas from, I guess, I don't know, getting on you. And I mean, they some ugly suckers. I'll tell you that much. Like as insects go, they're not my favorite insect to look at. I'm much more fond of like butterflies and things like that.
Caterpillars. Some caterpillars are really bad.
I'm much more fond of butterflies and things like that. But so if you've never had to deal with the cicadas again, I mean, they ain't your favorite little animal to look at. And they're going to be emerging in May. So we're just about, I don't know, a few weeks away from your favorite little buddies. You mind if I finish talking? Okay, buddy. Okay. He's hilarious. He's a part of the show now. You know what I'm saying? I told him people love it, so it's over with now. He's a regular part of the show. I don't know. You're not gonna see me walking around with this nonsense. It's just insects, y'all. So if you never dealt with the cicadas before, it's just insects. So please, I don't nobody commit suicide. The cicadas it's just insects. This is just nature. That's it. The pods cost $89.99. $89.99. And I can see some people walking around. I just can't wait to take a picture of somebody walking around with that ish. It ain't that serious, B. It's just an insect. But some people have like phobias on insects. I don't. I grew up playing in the woods and creeks and picking up all kind of stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Had a pet spider, used to feed it ants and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's no big deal. But Danita writes, good morning, all. Thank you to everyone who wished me happy birthday yesterday in the chat and those who reached out on my Facebook page. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tabitha writes, good morning. Tiff writes, good morning. Ashley writes, good morning. K.R. Mitchell writes, good morning. Everybody's saying what's up to the choppers.
Get to the chopper!
Tracy writes, if we have to move, it's going to take at least 6 months. Man, listen. That's the pain in the ass about moving, man, because you just got all this stuff, right? And to be honest with you, in heart, I'm much more of a minimalist. Like, I like to have like a really light thumbprint, quite honestly. I don't really like the whole bunch of stuff all piled up everywhere and something's on every surface. That's just not really me. And it just I can't think, right? But my basement is got all kind of stuff we just been packing in there. And I told the wifey, you know what, I got to start moving this stuff out right now because when we move, I don't want to have to spend all that time right before we move trying to pull stuff together. I'd much rather have like 2 or 3 boxes with labels on them, and then I can just go down and pick the stuff up and roll. But I get it completely, man. Oh my God, it's the pain and the Tracy writes, had to help my mom move. Pain in the and I'm telling you, see, it's harder to some people. It's just so difficult to help them move. Yes, I do, wifey. Thank you. Yes, it is. It is. Moving your parents is one of the hardest things ever. It is, especially your mama. I've never moved my father, but I've moved my mother several times because my mother is a bit of a I don't know if it's a hoarder or pack rat. I don't know which way. I would say I won't say she's really a hoarder. She's not really a hoarder. It's just a bunch of disorganized boxes from the 70s. You ever like be moving somebody, like moving your mom, and you come across a big box of nothing, and she's like, "Oh, that's cousin Aunt May from Cleveland." And it's a whole bunch of heirlooms that really are nothing, and they just don't want to get rid of it. And you find yourself in this argument with your mom or your parents about throwing something away, and they always win. Because how you just gonna throw away your mama's stuff and she don't want you? You can't do that. If she say don't throw it away, you got to keep it. And it's just one more thing to lug, and you already know it's just gonna be another box in the way. Oh my God, don't get me started, Tracy. I'm starting to have flashbacks of when I moved my mother. It was just, woo. I mean, it's just arguments, tempers start flaring. We start arguing and all kind of stuff. Arguing between the siblings. Because my brothers have let's just say my next youngest brother has a shorter wick than I do. We'll put it that way. His fuse is like this, right? And so now I'm defending my mom against him. It's just a big old mess. You know what I'm saying? All about moving. All about moving. Why am I bringing this up? Because I'm in the process of moving my little sis, and I share what's going on in my life. Brenda writes, I hate moving. Can't stand it. Drop rice. Get to the choppers.
Get to the choppers!
Lakeisha writes, right. Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. And moving other people is so much work. I hate moving myself. Let alone moving other people. It's a lot of things people can ask me to do, but at the top of that list of shit I really don't want to do is moving. I hate moving other humans. Moving other humans is worse than COVID. It's worse than COVID. Can I just get COVID, please? It is so bad. Oh my God. Now, my little sis, I'll give her props. Bravo to sis. She literally had everything in boxes. Literally. Like, I'm belly aching with you, but really, it was easy peasy. Because she put in the work. And that's why I F with her. That's why I was willing to do it, because I already know that about her. But there's some people, man, that'll swear up and down like, oh, I got everything in boxes. You get over there, nothing's in boxes. They got one box. Everything else, the boxes actually have to be made up. You ever did it before? You get to somebody else and you actually have to take the tape gun and construct the boxes and then put the stuff in the boxes. Oh my God. Got a bookshelf. None of the books is on the book or in the box. They all on the bookshelf. You making this longer. So this is a desperate appeal to all those bad movers out there. If you a bad mover, can you just do what the hell you say you're going to do, please? Like, have everything boxed up. Have everything organized. Okay, have the TV already taped up. That way, people like me, family members and friends who come in, we ain't got to do all that back-breaking work. Oh, my God. And then it seems to me, and it didn't happen to me last night, I'm just waiting for it today. But it seems to me that whenever you're moving other people, you always get injured. You ever notice that? It's not when you're moving yourself. It's when you're moving your cousin and them, your mama, your brothers and sisters, your friends. You always injure yourself. Stub your toe, bang your finger in the door as you're moving it through, not enough room. Wrench your back, twist your back out, break a bone, fall down the stairs. It's always when you're moving somebody else when stuff like that happens. I don't know what it is, man. Joe writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Blessed day. Good morning to you.
Get to the chopper!
Irish writes, you using taxpayer dollars, but we don't care about that, right? Joe Dieter says he's embarrassed of Wendell Young. I'm embarrassed of Joe Dieter in his office. I'm embarrassed by the job he did in the Ray Tensing trial. I'm embarrassed by the prosecution of Tracy Hunter. I'm embarrassed by the fact that the drug forfeiture money goes to his buddies, his friends, these private schools, instead of right back into the neighborhoods where it can be be used the most. I'm embarrassed by everything about Joe Dieters. And I'm embarrassed that he's been wasting taxpayer time and dollars. The man is inconsistent. First, you come out and say, you know what, we're not going to prosecute any of this text message stuff. This is more of a civil matter. A special prosecutor gets appointed. And now all of a sudden, you getting indictments and presenting grand jury evidence. You didn't have to present no grand jury evidence. Joe Dieters is such a liar. Joe Dieters is such a freaking liar because he picks and chooses when he has to do his job. When you're a white female that mistakenly leaves your kid in a car, he presents no evidence to the grand jury whatsoever because he didn't want to. But with the Wendell Young case, even though Robert Rubin said nothing really here, stop wasting our time, he initially said, this is a civil matter. Special prosecutors appointed, and now you want to present evidence to the grand jury over, tampering with evidence case? I don't give a damn about nothing like that. You talking about some small potatoes there. So he just makes it up. Sometimes, hey, we got to go by the law. You know, hey, you break the crime, you commit an offense. I've got to do this. My hands are tied. But you got full prerogative. You got full prerogative. You don't have to charge a damn person if you don't want to. And we've seen it in the past. I'm going to keep picking that up because I don't understand what justice is in Hamilton County under Joe Dieters. If you can mistakenly leave your kid in a car, the kid dies, you get no charges. But if you leave your kid in the parking lot, in the car, in the Walmart parking lot for 20 minutes, you get charged. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Like, I literally don't. And in every interview, and I mean every single interview that I've ever heard Joe Dieters do, the host is too punked out to challenge him. Every last one. I ain't saving nobody. Every time I hear an interview, I've never heard an interview with Joe Dieters with a local host in which they don't get punked out, and I just don't understand it. And they care so much about having access for he'll come back on the show that they don't want to ask him any real questions. I'm telling you, Joe Dieters was going to finally get pushed. He was finally going to be held accountable at that NAACP forum that I was the moderator in, and he punked out. He punked out. It's like, I'm not going to be there. So, I mean, I see things for what they really are. It's a damn shame that we don't have more stones in local media. Where are the men at? Let me see. Greetings all from Natasha. Daryl writes, I go hard, don't I? I know. Daryl writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Semi-hard. That really ain't that hard, actually. Ronald writes, legalized marijuana is at the top of my platform. Yeah, we're going to catch up with Ronald Lackey real soon. He's running for senator. And again, you on the ballot? I want to talk to you. Iris writes, anybody ready to start a team? And you know she means it. So again, this is a real opportunity, man, in this audience. You got a whole lot of influencers in this audience. You got a whole lot of folks that get ish done. They are very serious about these issues. It's far more than rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? I'm a talker. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a talking head. And there's other folks out there that might be in a better position to push things forward. And I support you when you do. Chris writes, $250 an hour, and yet for some reason, the Cincinnati mayor, along with several other lawmakers, can't find a successful way to help families get out of poverty. Do you know how many families can be helped with that salary if it was divided? Yeah, $250 an hour. He's been on this case for a year? I'm not sure how long he's been on the case, maybe about a year. Who knows what that bill is going to be? To me, this is just a way for Joe Dieters to give money to some of his friends. Now, I don't know if this special prosecutor is one of his friends or not, so I might be out of bounds with that. But I do know that in that Tracy Hunter case, that he knew those folks. Those special prosecutors, those independent prosecutors, he knew them. They had represented him before. So it was just a way to make money, in my opinion. Again, this is just an opinion. That's it. Natasha writes, legal marijuana is not reparations. Sorry, but I do not support the legalization of it. Yeah, I mean, we can always agree to disagree, Natasha. I mean, for me, it can be reparations. It can be a way of Black wealth building. And in fact, it should be a way. Because like I said, in Ohio, in Kentucky, in Indiana, in almost every state in the union, marijuana was used to harass Black and brown folks. Marijuana offenses was used to pull people over, to give people court fines, to get people in the legal system. Who knows? We haven't even calculated how much money was taken from our communities and washed through the legal system, right? Through court costs, court appearances, court fines, you name it, lost wages, taking off your job, losing your job, legal time, going to prison. I mean, something tells me that if you calculated all of that time and all of that money with the so-called war on drugs, and really it was a war on Black and brown people, everybody knows that, I bet you be in the trillions of dollars. How is America going to give us back that money? Like, how can America live with itself and look at itself in the face and say that we are a just nation on any levels, and we're not making every effort we can to right the scales when it comes to that? And to me, I'm a simple dude. If marijuana when it was illegal, if it was used to take from us, now that it's legal, it should be used to give to us. That's basic. To me, that's real basic, Natasha. But again, we can always agree to disagree. Maurice writes, get stocks in marijuana. I did. I love the idea of getting stocks in marijuana. You know what I like better than Maurice than that? Is Black-owned companies. That's what I like better than that. What I like better than that is investing in Black-owned marijuana, industry companies. I like that even better. Like I said, in Ohio, this is what's about to happen. There is a plan to double the amount of medical marijuana dispensaries. That is a prime position to be in. Because one day in Ohio is gonna be legal. You know what that means? You hear that? Cha-ching, dollars. Lifetime dollars. Man, they're gonna be putting that marijuana, that THC gonna be in gummies. I guarantee you when it goes legal, and in no way do I have any insights about this, that Skyline Chili people ain't paying me, but I can see them having like Skyline, you name it, like pizzas infused with THC. You know what I'm saying? Skyline Chili infused with THC. Sound good as hell, don't it? And you get you some custom little beers. Come on now. It's gonna be big money. Big lifetime money. And it would be a slap in the face for Black folks not to get the biggest piece of the pie. Not just a little sliver, the biggest piece of the pie should go to us. And why the politicians, go back and forth about reparations. That's one way you can put money back into the pockets of the Black community. Right? To me, it's just like I said, it was used to take from us. It should be used to give to us. To me, it makes perfect sense. I love hearing about Black-owned medical marijuana businesses. I love it. I love it. When I heard about the Purple Urkel with I thought, damn, that's smart. That's smart. Watch and see what I tell you. This city is never gonna be more fun than when we go recreational. Watch, and people are gonna love it. People are gonna love it. Wait for it. Let me know how it turns out. Def writes, good morning, all. Tiff writes, I just started following him on IG. He was just on the Breakfast Club. You talking about the guy that, I'm going to reach out to him, the Wall Street Trap. I'm going to reach out to him and see if he might be interested in being a guest on one of our podcasts. I don't think that I've seen his videos, but wait. I don't think that I've watched his videos, but I think I've seen the videos on YouTube. Dale writes, she told them to protest. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You should protest. Ask Drip about the America First Party and Anglo-Saxon policies of the GOP. He don't want to talk about that, do he? He don't want to talk about that. You much rather talk about Maxine Waters. Maurice writes, so what about when Trump said brown skin doesn't make you kin? Stop selling your soul. Like Trump went out there and incited violence in front of an angry mob and spent months and months and months whipping it up. But see, that's why I like Drop's calls. I like Drop because he F with me. So he F with me, support me. I F with him and I support him. I'm a real simple creature. Who isn't like that? I'm a real simple creature, right? But then secondly, he just got a different perspective that I don't hear a lot. So I like it. And he gives us an insight into how these Black Republicans are thinking, which I think is valuable. I think people should check out his podcast. Absolutely. The reason for appeal is bullshizzle because the judge should have sequestered the jury. Right. Stephanie writes, what happened to free speech? Right. What happened to free speech? Sarah writes, I can't give Maxine a pass on that. Is that right, Sarah? Right. Is that right? Okay. I don't have a problem with what she said, as I understand it. Now, there might have been something I missed, but as I understand it, I have no problems with it. Good. Somebody should have said it. She spoke the truth. Maxine, Auntie Maxine don't give a damn. Tracy writes, he's so effing disrespectful. He is. He's a disrespectful mofo. He really is. Sarah writes, she overstepped. Really? Okay. We can disagree. Danita writes, anytime there's a guilty verdict, there's always an appeal. When has someone ever been found guilty and they don't exhaust all possible avenues of the appeal process? Nelson tried to get a mistrial right then because that is what defense attorneys do, and the judge said, no. Janice writes, no, the judge did not say that. What Maxine Waters said was cause for a mistrial. Iris writes, okay, Drop is out of order already this morning. He starts out of order. Tracy writes, why do Black folks have to be the better person all the time? Well, what I would say is Maxine Waters just ain't ordinary Black folks. I mean, she's a very, very visible, very, very well-known member of Congress. Some might even say a very influential member of Congress. And when you're that kind of person, I think the rules are a little bit different for you. Let's go back to the phones. Let's see what the people think. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Guy.
Good morning, Guy. Welcome. This Fame?
Hell yeah. What you up to?
Just talking slick and greasy, as you might say.
Yeah, I just want to get my KRS-One off and talk some shit for about 4 minutes and some seconds. You know what I mean?
I'm here for it.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm with Sarah, or however you say that man's name. He called it that one way, trying to disguise it. Look, however you say his name, I think he's exactly right. Maxine Waters doesn't get a pass for this. If she effed this up, she did it on purpose. Remember, this is the same woman that endorsed Hillary Clinton over Barack Obama. Excuse me. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
When Hillary and Barack were running for the Democratic nomination, she endorsed Hillary. Now, it might have been because, the Clintons hooked her up back in the day and it was time to come pay, time for the bill to come due. But whatever it was, she endorsed Hillary. And her being in Congress, as long as she's been in Congress or the Senate, wherever, as long as she's been in politics, she should know, don't say some stuff like that. Take it to the streets. Because, first of all, your old ass ain't. You ain't going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to sit there with your state and federal security, your state California Highway Patrolmen, state troopers, and whatnot protecting you if something go down where you at. So all that little she's just whistling Dixie. But yeah, go look that up. She endorsed Hillary over Barack. I specifically remember hearing that on on your former employer. And you were talking about something else that. Oh well, to answer your question, if Chauvin is acquitted, these Negroes ain't gonna do nothing. They're gonna march and pray, do Cadillac commercials, and you know what I'm saying? Nothing's gonna happen. It's time to start changing laws. And only in America, the only way laws change is with bloodshed. Everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die. You can't have it both ways. If you want, because as a matter of fact, there's a report. She used to be local. Anjanette Levy, you know what I'm talking about? She used to work on Channel 12, little redhead lady.
Yeah.
Some of the most, she doesn't work there now. She works for like a national obscure network, the Law and Crime Network or something. Some of the most disappointing tweets I've ever seen. Her whole, she's buying into the defense theory. You can tell in her tweets. She's buying into the defense theory that George Floyd was going to die at some point during that day anyway because of his cardiac events. He had high blood pressure and high cholesterol. He was on borrowed time as it was, is what the defense is saying. And she's basically agreeing with that in her tweets. I'm like, D, is you crazy? Tweeting and stuff? I'm not tweeting on behalf of the defense. I said just as many tweets for the prosecution as the defense. No, it's not about how many tweets you send. It's the message in the tweets. But no, I don't see nothing normal, nothing different than what we've already seen. When us as black folks are disappointed by the legal system. Some couple days of rioting, few fires, fast food restaurants taken down, then after that, calm will be restored. But like I said, when they went over that judge's house locally and was marching on his lawn, that ain't the way. You got to start thinking about something different at this point because they're immune to the marching, the singing, the rhyming reverence, as they used to be called locally. Am I right or wrong? And that what we used to call them, or was that a national term? Or was that Hannity that started?
I think it was more of a white conservative talk radio term.
Right. Rhyme and reverence. Who started that? Was it Hannity or them local guys?
I don't know.
It
might have been Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man, that's all. Like I'm not in. I'm totally, and the fact that the judge even brought it up, like you might have grounds for appeal with that shit Maxine was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, why would you even say that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't see the point of the judge even putting that on the lawyer's mind like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fix was in from the giddy up, if you ask me, because like I said, I think the prosecution called too many witnesses. Mm-hmm. We saw a dude kneeling on somebody, no care in the world about the dude, his hands in his pocket, like, yeah, you about to take this. You're calling all these experts and whatnot. I didn't feel like that was necessary. That's going to alienate the jury. Information overload. What do we see? We all know that that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of George Floyd's medical history or whatnot. I mean, and literally, the prosecution is literally saying that he was going to die at some point that day anyway. His scuffle with Chauvin just accelerated it. It was like, wow, you MFer. You know what I'm saying? How insensitive, can you be to a human life? I don't care how much you defending that guy. How could you say something like that? But, that's why I don't have a heart to be a defense attorney. So, but that's all I got, B. It's always a pleasure. I had a great time, and I plan to talk to you at some point this week. You be blessed. Oh!
There it is. There it is. A little more throaty, a little more baritone. Appreciate the call. Good call all around. All right, 513-873-7134. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati media. And we talk about everything. This morning, my question is, what happens if Chauvin walks? Now, in about a minute, maybe 90 seconds, I'm going to play a video that has gone viral from a woman that purportedly is a Black Lives Matter activist. And what she is saying is really getting underneath some people's skin. It really is. Okay. She says she supports mass looting because it's payback for the debt that America owes. And I want you to think about that for a second. And I want to get your honest thoughts about it, because some people are predicting that if Derek Chauvin is not found guilty on all three in the most serious accounts, that there will be an uprising, and then perhaps an uprising in multiple cities around the nation. So that's my question. What happens if Chauvin walks? All right. But before we get there, a word from the day's sponsor. Again, when we do political ads and I do political ads, these are not endorsements. I am not endorsing anyone. This is a media platform, and we offer access to people to get access to our exclusive audience. It is nothing more than that. So Nathan Ivey is not endorsing anyone. You make up your own decision as it comes to the mayor's race or any other race. All right, check this out.
Hello, I'm Mr. Same Old Same Old. I'm running for mayor.
Hold up. Haven't you run for a bunch of offices always promising change but doing nothing?
Yeah, but
nothing. I'm not voting for the same old politicians to clean up City Hall and create change. We need to vote Profit for mayor. He will be bold, courageous, fair, and stop corruption at City Hall. I'm voting for Profit. Profit for people.
I'm Raphael Profit, and I'm asking for your vote, as I will do what is right, what is just, and what is fair. Paid for by Profit for Mayor, Dwight Crawford, Treasurer.
Again, that is a political ad on the platform. That is not a personal endorsement from yours truly. All right, just so we understand. And for any other candidates, we do have space available for you as well. All right, 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts this morning. What happens if Chauvin walks? And as I said, I've got a video that I want to play for you. And this is highly controversial. Highly controversial. People are like, what? Wait. She said what now? You ain't allowed to say those kind of things. But I want to look at the video, and then I want you to tell me if you agree with her. You might say I agree with her. Okay? Now, this is a Black woman, and purportedly she is a member of Black Lives Matter. And it looks like she's a part of a podcast called Burn It Down. Burn It Down. That's the name of the podcast right there. Have you seen this? I already like her because look, she got some classic albums up there in the back. That Roots album, classic. That Ghostface Killer album, classic. So I already like her. Off the rip. All right, but I want you to check this out and then tell me what you think. It's about 30 seconds long, so it's not too long. I may play it a couple times to make sure we get what she's trying to say. You ready? All right, roll tape.
Support all that. I support them looting the Dollar Tree. I support the looting of what other did they loot? Like the advanced auto parts. I remember last year they looted Target. I support all that. Loot all that. Do you know why? Because Black people and marginalized and oppressed people could loot every store in this whole country for 200 years. It would not even come close to the debt that America owes us.
Okay, family, I'm going to play this again.
Support all that. I support them looting the Dollar Tree. I support the looting of what other did they loot? Like the advanced auto parts. I remember last year they looted Target. I support all that. Loot all that. Do you know why? Because Black people and marginalized and oppressed people could loot every store in this whole country for 200 years. It would not even come close to the debt that America owes us.
All right, so I'd like to know what you think about what she just said. I played it a couple times to make sure that you can understand. It's only 30 seconds, so about a minute of your time, your valuable time. But I'd like to know if you agree or disagree with her. She says she has no problem with no looting. She don't care if you go to AutoZone or Dollar Tree or whatever else, because there's a debt that's owed to marginalized people in this country. Now, there are some things that she said. One thing that we know is true. There is a debt that's owed to marginalized people in this country. I would spend some time talking about reparations in the context of legal marijuana. But what is your honest opinion? You don't have to put on no airs here. You can just be whoever you are. Okay? All I want is your honesty. You don't have to be politically correct, because I'm not politically correct. I just want you to be honest. I just want you to be honest. That's it. All right. Do you agree with her? Does she have a point? Let me see. Maurice writes, being a big brother is a beautiful thing, but draining. Yes, it is. Sarah writes, civil war? Nah, I don't see a civil war either. Akeem writes, yo, Nate, it's more than just smoking marijuana all day. It's about people coming together to heal a planet with love. Happy 420. Do you have a Dogecoin in your wallet? Yeah, I didn't mean to just reduce it to that. I realize that people have created a deeper meaning to it. I'm just saying, let's add to it a conversation about how legal marijuana can be reparations for the community. Oh, how sweet. I miss my big brother, one and only brother that I had. Danita writes, big brothers are the best. I remember when I moved into my first apartment, my brothers moved all my stuff and brought them wings and beer. I bought them wings and beer and gave hugs and kisses, and it was all good. Now, when people move for you, you gotta buy food for them and pay them. You got to do both or either one, because people love food. They love to eat. Work up an appetite. You take care of dinner or lunch or whatever. Ain't nothing like it. And or you dropping off, some greenbacks. You know what I'm saying? A couple of 20s. Nothing is better. Nothing is better. Right? But what do you think? We got a call coming in. Let's take it, right? Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound loud and clear. You sound great, Glenn. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, brother. Hey, let me say this, Nate. And this is the problem that I have with Drip and the little pound puppies of the alt middle. Why do y'all always got to be the first ones to come out and defend some old crazy ass white shit? This whole idea that the trial will be turned around because of Maxine Waters' comments is absolute BS. And I think everybody in the chop shop knows it. That I think A-Ray put it in the chopper. She's just low-hanging fruit. This is their way to deflect away from, I don't know, the American First Party with the little Anglo-Saxon creed. Kevin McCarthy talking about he's going to censure her, but he hasn't censored, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And let us not forget, Nate, I'm going to tell you, I told you, this is going to be the brown-stained little tighty-whities for years to come. We just got through 4 years of a man saying whatever the fuck he wanted on TV, and he was the president of the United States. We just had a rally, on January the 6th, where a previous speaker before him said it's about time for Americans to start taking names and kicking ass. The president before this was talking about how you need to walk up to the Capitol and, you get nothing done without showing force. But they mad over Auntie Maxine for saying confrontational? Man, please. And again, why do the same brothers got to be the same ones to be the first to, A, be down on the black woman? You notice that pattern, Nate? But B, came for white people stuff. It's the same people. I mean, Drop calling here talking about the lady with Black Lives Matter and the 4 houses she bought. When just a couple of weeks ago, Donald Trump had to refund $250 million because people forgot to uncheck the box that went from this might be a monthly payment to, hey, we're going to start charging you every week. Nate, there were people dying that initially gave $100, ended up owing them $3,000. And again, you didn't bring it up, and I know you do your thing, but on the national political side, they just tried to introduce a party that talked about Anglo-Saxon values. They're to the right of the Freedom Caucus, Nate. But they want to get on Auntie Maxine and Kevin McCarthy. He down in Mar-a-Lago taking pictures with a bum-ass president. And again, they talk about Donald Trump like he had an Obama type of movement. No, he lost the House and Senate in 4 years and got impeached twice and lost by 7 million votes. He actually lost by turning over states like, I don't know, Arizona and Georgia. But no, what she said, oh, and let me correct this. The judge didn't bring up what Maxine Waters says. The defense said that. And he said, yeah, well, if you want to use that as, possible form of appeal, okay. But the judge dismissed that as the defense was trying to dismiss the case. Oh, this might, influence the jury. The judge is like, no, I give them instructions all the time. I expect that they do what they're supposed to do. And that let, Maxine Waters be the reason why they're going to find the guy not guilty or guilty. The tape says it all. Hell, it went from 8 minutes and 46 seconds to 9 minutes and 43 seconds or something like that. And then the fool calls in and talks about, well, maybe there were too many experts. No. What the defense did was go ahead and put out there, what the prosecution did was go ahead and put out there what they knew the defense was going to try to play, dying by carbon monoxide, died because of the drugs during the system. No, you bring in one of the foremost pulmonologists in the world and say, no, actually, that's not it. And when you have the captain, the longest serving member of the Minnesota police saying, no, that's not the procedure that we teach. And after, 45 seconds of being subdued with 3 motherfuckers on your back, you don't need the extra 9 minutes of a knee on your neck. Nate, I actually think they're gonna find him guilty. If not on all 3, 2 of the 3, or 1 of the 3. But he's gonna be found guilty of something. And again, it's making me mad, just like it makes you mad, to think of just how much of a BS job Joe Dieters did for the DuBose family. He knew he couldn't get a murder 1 charge. He had to know. He'd been in the game too long. But if you're thinking like, I can't think of the brother that's the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison. They were able to get the second, the third charge, the manslaughter charge off. I told you this before. I knew it was messed up when the second judge was Leslie Gibbs, and she's nothing but, the Bessie Sunderman before Sunderman. She's a super Karen too, a MAGA Karen. And when she wouldn't allow that extra charge in, it was over. And again, Joe Dieters had to know that, Nate, I've heard stuff like, I don't think they've ever had an officer convicted of first-degree murder. And if I'm in Minnesota too, go ahead.
I don't think so either. I know there was a brother that killed a white woman. He got charged.
Right,
I can't remember what that charge was.
Yeah, in Minnesota, shot her through the car side window, whatever. He played. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on, but no, she's white, so you're not supposed to be that scared of her. Yeah, but I had to clear it up. But no, we're not trying to blame this on Maxine Waters. And of course, the little right-wing media, they jumped all over it. And you were talking about Joe Dieters. Joe Dieters don't talk to any black media, Nate. Well, unless he's talking to Smitherman, but again, that ain't black media, so. Hey, Nate, let me get out of here, man. I got I got about 13 more minutes, and I'm about to punch the clock. But you know how it is, man. Hopefully in the end, you get what I'm spitting. Petty out.
Yep, great call. And he does a great podcast called Politically Petty Podcast. Check it out. Great flows. Like in Cincinnati radio circles, Glenn is well known across the dial. And he spares his opinions. He shares his opinions with anybody. No matter who it is. He got something to say, you gonna hear it. Simple as that. But great guy, though. Great guy. Interesting. Tiff writes, I've been looking for cicada videos. I need to know what I'm in for. Oh, you in for an insect infestation. That's what you're in for. You're in for an insect infestation. This will be my 3rd or 4th go around. I think my 3rd go around. I can remember being a kid in cicada. I was a little kid and the cicadas came through. It was terrible. They were everywhere. You can hear them. They were caught on windshields. You would drive over their bodies. They had a very strong exoskeleton. So, you're going to hear that crunch. They're everywhere. And they're very ugly. The birds are about to have a feast. The birds are going to have an absolute feast. But, this is nature. I love it. I don't got no problem with no damn cicadas, man. I got way bigger problems than some damn cicadas. Trust me. They don't bother me at all. I've never been bitten by a cicada. More than likely, if you're walking around, depending on where you are, they're going to crawl on you. They're going to scare that but Jesus out of you because they look like creatures from another world. They just look very weird. But I don't think they really bite humans. I don't have an insect phobia. In fact, I like insects. You know what I'm saying? I like spiders in the house. I'm just telling you. I'm not super like that about any kind of insect. There might be other things that, get underneath my skin, but not insects per se. They're just, to me, it's just nature. But I grew up in, playing in the woods, playing in creek beds and coming home with dirt from head to toe and shit. This is nothing, digging for earthworms and digging up anthills and you name it. I did all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's not really a big deal to me. I know that the newer generations are much more in the house, but it is what it is. Jerica writes, your wife is about to snatch Junior out of there. Yep. She was like, boy. Janice writes, he loves his big, strong daddy. He does. He loves it, and his daddy loves him. He already know. He got one job: strong body, strong mind, be superlative. That's it. Mommy and daddy will take care of everything else. You do your job, then we'll happily do our job, subsidizing, supporting every aspect of your life. That's all. That's the deal. You want us to be A1 parents, you're gonna have to be an A1 child. If not, let's just say I'm a Virgo. We'll leave it like that. TNT writes, they are blind and will fly right into you. They are too big and noisy. I hate it, hate it, hate it. I'm going to freak out. They're blind? I didn't know that. My son has a bug phobia. I'm very concerned. Well, I will say that if you got a bug phobia, depending on the density of the infestation, and in some parts of the city will be more dense with the infestation of others, you're going to have a problem because you're not going to be able to get away from it. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just simply telling you that, you're going to hear them. You ain't going to be able to get away from that. You're going to hear them. They're going to be everywhere. And you're going to see birds and squirrels having a feast. Like, while humans are like, no, the birds are like, it's like they knocking on the door at the smorgasbord. Like, are y'all going to open up early? They can't wait. They can't wait. But it's all a part of the circle of life, man. It's nature. I love it. I don't want the world to be any different than its natural self. There's nothing more beautiful than nature, in my humble opinion. That must be a thing for black mamas. Mama, why do you have this? Danita. And we won't even talk about my grandmother. My mother's mother, my grandmother. Oh my God. This woman had 40 years of stuff in her house. You bring a box out, literally, big plume of dust. The box hasn't been opened in 40 years. You open it up, it's a big box of trash. You know what this woman would say? Oh, I need that. Don't throw that away. And see, my grandmother carried a pistol. She carried a snub nose with her at all times. I'm not joking. She carried it. My grandmother did not pay. I seen her pull it out on some folks too. She ain't played no games at all. You would get shot messing with that woman. And so she had a real strong personality, very strong personality. And it was just no arguing with her. It was just no arguing with my grandmother. So she said that's what she was going to keep, and that's what we had to do. And my uncle and I would just look at each other and just groan and just move the box and put it on and put it wherever she told us. There was no moving her. Like, we really had to do stuff behind her back. You got that kind of relative when you're moving where you have to like throw stuff away, like she don't need this, and just throw it away on your own because you knew that they was never going to remember. I can admit I did that. I did that with my grandmother. I might have did it with my mother too. Because sometimes you got to save your people from themselves. And damn well, like my grandmother had like a big old box of old pots and pans that like had debris in it. And I'm like, it was from a cookout in like 73. And it's in a box in her basement. Talking about she want to keep that. And see what it was just a memory for her. I get it. It was a memory. And we threw that shit out. It's like, yeah, we're going to put this on the truck, put it straight in the trash. She never knew. She never knew. You got to do that sometime. David writes, that's a hoarder. That's hoarder traits. It's hoarder traits. My mother isn't a hoarder. She ain't got like all kind of stuff. She don't really got a whole lot of stuff now. She's living a lot more minimalist than she used to. I'll leave it like that. I'll leave it like that because I love my peoples. Kelly writes, good morning. Brent writes, Nate, just give your sisters $500 and call it a day. Damn, I wish I had it like that. I would. Nate ain't got it like that. Maybe one day I will, but I ain't got it like that right now. Charles writes, keeping all of Mama's things she brought over the years could look like that show on A&E Hoarders. If she's using it on a regular basis, if she isn't using it on a regular basis, it's probably getting tossed, which that was my point. Sometimes you got to go throw away stuff behind your mama's back or your grandmother's back when you move them. You ever did that before? And they argue with you and I'm talking about argue. Be mad. Not like a little bit, like be mad. Nose all, nostrils flaring. I'm like, okay. She walk out the room, throw that shit right in the trash. Toy writes, moving causes PTSD. If I sell my house, the buyer will get it fully furnished, including my wardrobe. And I'm a minimalist, but my 4-year-old is not. Yeah, I'm a minimalist at heart. I don't want a lot of stuff. Like that seems like a lot of stuff, but it's really not. I'm not into having a whole lot of stuff around me. I like clean lines, clear tables, things done artfully. And I like a lot of space as much as possible. So that's just me. I grew up, though. My grandmother was a hoarder. She was no doubt a hoarder. She most certainly was. If it wasn't for the size of her house and the basement size, oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord, she would have been sleeping on boxes. Dear Lord, my grandfather passed away. I mean, we were going through trash for months. When she passed away, we were going through stuff for months and months and months and months, but it is what it is. Carla writes, the best investments one can make is a moving company. I've heard that. Eddie writes, pianos are bad. I'm not sure what that means, but good morning, Eddie. Anthony writes, it's only bad because you have to go through all the junk you've accumulated over the years. All the time questioning yourself, why did I keep this? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because sometimes you tell yourself, I mean, we've all got those tendencies. Like I said, I got a bunch of junk in my basement right now that I'm like, how do we get all this stuff here? And it's just like, I don't want to deal with it, put it in the basement. And you tell yourself, well, I'll deal with it this weekend. The weekend rolls around, you got something else to deal with. And before you know it, you ain't forgot about it, right? You forgot completely about it. So I get it. It's being human. Keno writes, big facts about moving people. OMG, LOL. Good morning, everybody. One love. Same to you, Keno. I've worked for a moving company in my 20s. That's a hell of a workout. Bend at the knees, LOL. Oh, yeah, I can imagine that. I never did it, but I would have. I would have worked at a moving company. Hell, I'd do it today if I had to make that money for my family. I ain't got no shame in my game or whatsoever. So when I was in college, I would have done it then. Yep. Make ends meet for sure. Charlie Wimber writes, good morning, happy people. Good morning to you, sir. Good to see you. Best investment if moving, buy a bunch of bins, large and small. Yeah, bins everywhere. I don't want to kick us too far off the topic. Let me go back around. So I played a video for you. You heard this woman. She said that she has no problem with looting. In her opinion, looting is something that she believes that is owed to marginalized people. She says she got no problem with it. I like to know how you feel about it. The majority of this audience is black folks, conscious black folks. I like to know what you think about that. Do you agree with her or disagree with her? There is no wrong answer. I just want to know what your honest thoughts are. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, comrade.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show, Black Russia.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, sorry, I had to be a little sophomoric yesterday, but I did that yesterday to come back and prove a point. All right, so ask you a question. Was the Gang of Five text messages sophomoric in nature?
I would say sophomoric in nature. I wouldn't use that word to describe it.
Well, Joe did use that word to describe it.
I mean,
he called it sophomore because based upon the conversations that were going on, they were talking about people and, setting up government because they didn't have a super majority. And the reason I just raised the sophomore aspect of it from what you said about Ray Sean's supposed behavior on Twitter. And I'm going to just ask you, what's the difference?
You're right about that. So in that standpoint, I would agree with you. If I remember correctly, some of those text messages was just like people talking about one another, and that is sophomoric. So you're right about that.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
asking
So
me what
I'm just,
you asking me
yeah.
what the
What's the
difference is between that and Rayshawn, who was on Twitter.
His Twitter.
He was on Twitter.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say, yeah, I'm gonna just like, let's say hypothetically, I agree with you as sophomore. I don't subscribe to that, but I'm gonna just give you the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, you called us Twitter yesterday, sophomore. I'm sitting there agreeing with Joe Dieters about the Gang of Five text messages in nature that they were sophomore. So how is these? Because the Gang of Five was 5 out of 6 who voted against Rayshawn. So what I'm saying to you is, how is the behavior different between the folks who judged Rayshawn, okay, and the Gang of Five? Well, and Rayshawn's behavior, I don't see a difference. I'm just wondering if you do.
Yeah, I see a few differences.
Sure, run them down.
Well, I am. So one difference is that what Rayshawn did was public. It was intended to be public. Well, let me. You asked me a question. Let me get it out before you tell me I'm wrong.
I know. I'm just saying the text messages were too.
You asked me a question, Black Russia. Let me get it out. I know I'm wrong, but let me get it out first.
I didn't say you were wrong. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So one big difference is that when Rayshawn was on Twitter, it was public. It was intended to be public. He knew it was going to be public, and he wanted to be public. Okay. Those text messages, I don't think those people ever thought that those text messages were ever going to come out to the light of day. In fact, most people who send text messages don't ever think they're going to come out and be public. So I think that's one big difference. I think the other difference between it is that, if I remember correctly, in terms of the more sophomoric parts of the text messages, it was city council members talking about other city council members. As opposed to what Rayshawn was doing is he was talking about these other members of city council. So that's two differences.
I think it's the same thing. I missed the difference in the second part. I'm not being funny. I'm just like,
I can understand that.
Go ahead.
No, I understand. Even as I was saying, I can understand that. So if I remember correctly, some of the most sophomoric parts about the text messages where you had members of city council that were saying sophomoric things about other members of city council. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's that.
Okay, right. So that's the tip of the spear when we talk of the sophomoric nature of the text messages. In Rayshawn's case, he was in a public forum that he intended for to be forum, and he was, I don't know what you would, barbs, whatever you want to call it, was taking shots at members of city council, not necessarily about policy, but about personal stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like there's a difference between the two.
I hear you. Well, I would say they took personal shots like on the text was like when they try to talk about Jeff Pastor's lingo. They try to talk about how he dressed. They try to talk about, on the text they were talking about people's family members. I mean, I'm just trying to see a difference in this because, if anything, the Gang of Five has just proved to be the most hypocritical gang in city council history because they're going to sit there and tell somebody you're disqualified because of your Twitter feed. Well, we got these text messages, which you said they ain't intended to be public. I get it. But when you get together a majority of a public body, the intent is to do public business on those text messages from what we read because they were mad about Harry Black. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy and all this nonsense.
Well, there's one other point. There's one other difference is that in none of those text messages, if I remember correctly, none of those text messages in any way were intended about Rayshawn Mack. I don't remember any of those.
They called him crazy. Tamaya called him crazy. Tamaya called him and me crazy.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
That happened.
I don't remember that.
It's a one-liner, but you'll go back and read Tamaya's portion. She called me and she said, yeah, they crazy. Talking about me and Ray.
Well, y'all is crazy.
My point is,
that y'all is crazy,
that,
though.
But whatever, you still call it age, bro. You still call us crazy.
But I'm just saying, you can't have it both ways.
Bro.
I hear your point, though. You're right. That is a point there. I don't remember that part of it. If you say it's in there, it's in there. And then the last difference is that those city council members were never going to ask Rayshawn Mack for anything. It was Rayshawn Mack who was asking the council members for something.
Now, I agree with you on that. But see, here's the sensitivity aspect of these council members. When you in the public arena like that, man, they throwing barbs all the time. So when somebody throw barbs at you, all of a sudden you sensitive. This is what I'm talking about. This is a hypocritical BS that I'm talking about with these council members. That's why I ain't got no problem them throwing the book at PG. They already threw the book at Tamaya. She only caught one of them instead of the whole library. And then Wendell Young, they gonna throw the book at all of them because the hypocrisy is absolutely stunning to me. It's stunning. It's stunning. It's stunning. It's crazy.
I hear the point you're making, brother. I disagree with you, but I hear the point you're making. But again, I'm glad you can admit that the reason why you're going so hard at Wendell is because Wendell basically embarrassed your boy. And the Democrats, he embarrassed him.
No, you put words
he embarrassed him publicly.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
No, he embarrassed him publicly with all facts.
What happened was,
and then the majority of council did not vote for him to be on the sorter board.
Right.
And that's why you're upset.
I'm not upset about it. Why you want to tell me how I feel? I don't feel any type of way about it.
I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. I hear a black man that's upset about some old stuff.
I think what you're hearing is somebody now digging up bodies, okay? Because now we got all these individuals who getting roped up out here by the feds and the state government who was out here acting like they were just so high and mighty, like they had a monopoly on morality. Wendell Young walk around like he a nice guy. I like he a nice guy, but we know he's a crook. He's a cover up a crime in a heartbeat.
Wendell Young is a nice guy.
He'll cover up a crime in a heartbeat. And we know that about him.
He'll cover up a crime in a heartbeat. What crime? What crime are you talking about? I think he's out. He said he'll cover up a crime in a heartbeat. That man, you are butt sore because Wendell ran your boy down. He did. He ran him down and ran over him 3 or 4 times with all facts. And he did it in a professional manner. And it was all facts and all truth. And you still mad about it. So now that these individuals that you was just had this candle burning for so long, right, have slipped on banana peels in some cases and or now dealing with legal challenges, now you want to dance on their grave. That's what's happening. You want to dance on Wendell's grave, so to speak, because Wendell and the other majority Democrats did not vote for Rayshawn Mack to become a member of the sorter board. And if I was on city council, I wouldn't have voted for him either, because I'm never voting for any childish acting adult, care who it is, to be in a leadership position, period. I can't say you didn't make some points there. I understand. But that's what it's all about. So now you want to try to make it seem like, it's some kind of like substance behind it. Negative, sir. There's no substance behind it. This is all politically motivated. And I think these charges against Wendell are just a justification for the amount of money that the special prosecutor has been given to prosecute this guy. Like I said, and I'll say it again, why would you need a special prosecutor to be paid $250 per hour? He spent months, if not over a year on this case. And the only thing he came up with is something that Wendell Young admitted to in 2019. Something that Robert Ruhlman said wasn't worth his time. Something that initially the Hamilton County prosecutor, Joe Dieter, said he wasn't going to approach in a civil manner. He wasn't going to be criminal. He said it's a civil case and not a criminal case. To me, it's just a justification to give this man $250 an hour. Who knows how much money he made. It's the same old game that we've seen over and over again. Same thing with Tracy Hunter, where Joe Dieters tapped some of his buddies to be special prosecutors, and they got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to prosecute a woman over a piece of paper. Same thing. So let's call the game. It's a con game right in front of us. Talking about justice. Joe Dieters could never speak to me about justice. I know he's been elected to be the top law enforcement official, at least prosecutor in Hamilton County. I get it. That's his job. He's got the power to make the decisions, and it is what it is. We got to deal with it, but I don't know what justice is under a Dieters administration. I literally don't know. I really have no idea. And when he goes on these other interviews and these other media platforms, they're so in love with him that it becomes an ass-kissing fest. All they do is mwah, mwah, kiss each other's arse. That's all they do. You don't really get anything. There's never any pushback. The host never push back on anything he says or does, because it's like they're so thankful that he comes on their show and they can say, we got Joe Dieters coming on, that They wouldn't dare push back on him. They wouldn't dare because he might not come on the show anymore. And too many people have that attitude in Cincinnati. And it stops them from keeping it rizzle. Except for here. We don't give a damn if you come on the show. Come on or don't come on. That's not the crux. We are what makes this work. Nobody else. It's us that makes this work. It ain't gonna change nobody's opinion. It's just a lost opportunity for you. That's it. Let me see here. But see, we now, at least Black Russia can admit that he's butt sore that his boy got denied being on the sorter board. I thought it was a bad move. You know, I was looking at it from afar like, ooh, when this name came up, and I want to make this point again. I meant to bring this up with Black Russia. Black Russia, if you're listening, you should be mad at the mayor. It's amazing to me that you're more mad at Wendell Young and the Democrats who were the target of, was he still on the line? I didn't know that. I think he might still have been on the line. Oh, okay. Well, I think we got Black Russia back. Were you still on the line, brother?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. My bad, bro. I thought you were off the line.
I thought you just ran me down. You put me on.
Nah, I ain't mean to do that. No, I don't want to do that. So, you know, since I'm making this point, man, it's amazing to me that you should be mad at the mayor. Because the mayor set Rayshawn up. You do realize that, don't you?
Everything's strategic with the mayor, who's about to be the governor. Okay,
so you do realize that.
No, what I realize is that everybody who voted against him just got exposed.
So
Wendell Young got exposed, bro, for being a hypocrite, for being
It's amazing to me that you're more upset with Wendell Young than John Cranley. And John Cranley played Rayshawn, played him like a fiddle. And you ain't got nothing to say about that. Because you and I both know that John Cranley knew that when he nominated Rayshawn to be on the sorter board, Rayshawn had no chance of being nominated.
Rayshawn, look. Rayshawn knew that. We all knew that. But
okay,
again,
then.
This is bigger.
So why would you even go through with that? So why are you mad then?
Nobody, I'm not mad. You keep saying I'm mad, bro. I'm telling you I'm not mad. But you won't accept what I'm telling you for whatever reason. I'm trying to tell you I'm not mad about that. I'm trying to tell you that what happened was it was all a setup to expose the hypocrisy, period. And the hypocrisy is now exposed. Half the folks who voted against Rayshawn now got either federal charges or felony state charges. So nobody's sweating the sorter board, bro.
Hold on.
You more mad about that than anybody. I'm not mad about that.
Can you explain this, brother? Can you explain to me how this whole thing was set up to expose hypocrisy? So you telling me that John Cranley and Rayshawn Mack got together. They realized that he wasn't going to be nominated. He wasn't going to get through city council because of his actions, his reputation. But they did that to do what now? To set up city council somehow? How does this work?
To expose hypocrisy, and mission accomplished.
To expose
everybody's
hypocrisy.
Up there acting like see, you gotta see this. Everybody's up there acting like they high and mighty, got the high moral ground already shine. And especially Chris Silbach. Because Chris Silbach, you would agree with me, Chris Silbach Twitter way worse than Rayshawn. Way worse. So now everybody who voted against him is roped up. Come on, man. We laughing about that. Wendell Young, yeah, he's about somebody in butthurt. Wendell Young will be butthurt up there in Columbus somewhere in Oregon. That's where he's gonna be butthurt at. So,
sounds personal.
And I ain't mad.
It sounds like you're mad.
Real. Nah, ain't nobody mad.
I mean, I don't think you're mad now.
It's real.
I don't think you're mad now because the tables have turned a bit. But I think you were mad, and now you're like dancing on their grave.
The whole time. We already knew the Gang of Five was out here, bro. We knew majority of five. You need five to get on the board. We got the Gang of Five out here. The Gang of Five ain't with the mayor. They ain't going to vote for Rayshawn. We knew that going in. But we wanted them to get up there and say all their little piece about you're disqualified and this is what we found and all this other stuff. And then they look crazy. They look crazy. So you can say what you want about people being mad or whatever like that. We over here kicking it, sipping champagne, waiting for November.
Oh, I bet you are.
Because all them dudes is out of there.
I bet
they look terrible. So, hey, Wendell Young, you're going to get what you deserve. Hey, and I hope you die in prison. Have a good day.
Did you say you hope he dies in prison? What the fuck? He is wild, man. He is so wild. So I hope he dies in prison. Damn. Yeah, you ain't mad. It ain't personal. So let me get this straight. So y'all knew that Rayshawn wasn't gonna get. Then why y'all wasting people's time then? Just another sophomoric attempt playing games. But y'all did that to expose the hypocrisy. Okay, brother. Whatever you say. What did he say? I'm having too much fun. No one man should have so much fun, man. That is hilarious. Oh man, y'all want to dance on this black man's grave? Listen, I don't care who they is, black, white. I hate to see people get caught up in the legal system. I don't want to see nobody go to jail. That's just misery. I'm just, life is too good for me to wish something like that on somebody else. So, nah. But at the same time, you do the crime, you do the time. So we'll see how all of this stuff shakes out. But let me see. Look at Fame threatening people. You ain't scared. Nobody's scared of you. Talking about something. Saw your comment yesterday, hon. You don't want a war of words. Enjoy the show. Get the hell out of here. You ain't going to do a damn thing. Kamal writes, I feel like he discovered a new word. Oh, my God. Lee writes, a clothing store came back after the first wave of riots here in New York. Now they hung a sign in the store saying that if you loot us again, we aren't returning. Choose wisely. Yeah, I'm not for any looting whatsoever. I understand the uprising. I understand the looting. I can understand it. I can understand it coming from an oppressed people standpoint. I can understand the mentality. You know what I'm saying? When the smoke starts, we're going to smash and grab. And, if, listen, and listen. What happened at Black Wall Street? Was that looting? Now, you do know, you ever heard of Red Summer, 1919? You do know what happened in Black Wall Street happened in almost major and in small towns across the nation, right? But now you flash forward 100 years, everybody talking about don't loot. Please stop. Please stop acting like the reason why white folks got more than black folks isn't because they just straight up took it. So please stop. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be intellectual and be fair about this. You got to understand. That's why I say I can understand it. Because when the smoke starts, people start smashing and grabbing. That's what they do. White, black, or otherwise. And I can understand it. I don't condone it. I don't support it. I don't promote it. But if you're asking me, can I intellectually understand it? I can understand it. Please stop acting like the reason why there's a huge wealth gap is because white folks is just smarter. They just work harder. Please stop. They took it. They took it. Including this country. So please stop. Okay? All this, now we want to get moral. Please stop. I can understand it. I don't condone it. I'll say it again. I ain't promoting it. That's just not me. I'm all about that legal stuff. But don't act like you can't understand where people are coming from. Terrence writes, let him finish. Daryl writes, it's Black Napoleon, y'all. What? Stacy writes, huh? Let me see. I had to look up sophomore. First time hearing this term. Thanks. Rachel writes, apples and oranges. I thought it was a bit apples and oranges, but I can admit when there's some similarities too. It is what it is. I'm just going to tell you this again. If you ever want to be on one of these boards and you have to go through city council, it might be wise that you don't spend the year before you're supposed to be, or you might go before the vote, going on Twitter and personally attacking these individuals. I'm just going to say, just a word to the wise. I don't care if you qualified or not. Humans don't work like that. What human is going to vote for you to be in some kind of leadership position and you've been on Twitter talking about their family? No human is going to do that. So just a word to the wise, we might want to think twice about the kind of things you tweet and things like that. I'm just saying. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan. Good morning.
Good morning, TNT.
It's Nicole.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey. I just wanted to put the call out real quick before you end your show about House Bill 22. I just want to make sure people are sending out their phone calls to these legislators and also emails. And if you need the information, just go to our Facebook page. I'll try to repost it on the Friends page as well. There's also a petition that we created, and we need everyone to start signing it. They're going to hear this for the fourth time on Thursday. If you want to write something opposing this, and you can use some of the same language that's in our little video ad, that needs to happen, I think, no later than tomorrow, by noon, by 11 tomorrow, to submit it to the chair of the Criminal Justice Committee. The fact that this is coming up for a fourth time is concerning. Usually when it's at the third hearing, it should have just died. So for them to bring this back up is concerning. And so we really need people to make those phone calls and also send out those emails. And then if you want to go up there, go to the State House in Columbus. If you got the time just to make the case on Thursday, please do so. Have your name on the record, because the opposition, there needs to be opposition to this. And from the very first, second, third hearing, they have their supporters, and they will be up there strong. So if you don't want obstruction of justice to be expanded, if you don't want it for it to be so simple, for them to put a felony on you, if you see something occurring similar to what happened to George Floyd, and you're being told to put your cell phone away, or even if you come out of your house, if the police give you a direct order and you don't move quick enough, or you question before you obey whatever the order, they can charge you, and that's just too much and too discretional, subjective, and it can end up being a very discriminatory thing, because their tolerance level for a certain community can be completely different compared to our community, and it is. Along with the position of being a distraction. That's so wide and ambiguous. Anything could be a distraction. Anything anybody say, you know what I mean? Music coming down the street could be a distraction. But if they want to be that petty, and we know that there's officers on that level that can be, and just will have you tied up in the system just cause, we need to stop this. So I implore once again to make those phone calls. It only take a second, or send an email. It only takes a second, and it really make a significant difference when they actually see from what region, what part of Ohio people are calling and contacting. We're putting this out to all our chapters, NAACP chapters throughout Ohio. There's other organizations, that is trying to stop this, and so we need the people. So we put the call out. We need the people to rise up and make these small action moves so we can stop this bad bill. All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
That's House Bill 22, everybody. And she's saying, and I've talked with state reps, and what they've told me is that it is very useful and very, very powerful when they receive emails. And something in particular about the written word, when they were seeing letters and emails, it does make a difference. It becomes a tool that they can use when discussing with their colleagues. When it gets to like the public forum, like the conversation parts of the process, I've been told that it's very, very useful. I've been told that by people who you might want to call activists, and I've been told that by state reps individually, that is very, 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 very powerful. In fact, State Rep Cedric Denson came on this show. He said as much. So don't undervalue the power of an email. That can be a very powerful thing. And there might not be any outward, manifestation of it or appearances of it, but then you're giving lawmakers the tools that they need to go to the state house and try to get busy for the community and try to work in our behalf. So I'll just put it out there like that. And I know I'm speaking to the choir. I know a lot of folks in this audience have already been doing so, but there might be some folks who are like, does it really matter? I've been told that it really matters. I've been told that it really, really, really matters. And you never know. We know there's a Republican majority, but I've also been told that there are some Republicans that are willing to see the light, so to speak, on some of these issues. So, I think it's bad form to complain about something before you even try it. So I know a lot of people say, it's not going to work. Then try it. What's it going to cost you? It costs you what, maybe 15 minutes at the most to shoot off an email to your Congress, to your representative, your state rep, and let them know how you feel. I don't think that's a big, I know everybody is busy and time is very valuable, but I don't think that's a big investment. What do you think? What do you think? I don't think it's the biggest investment in the world. My time is almost short. This morning, we've been asking one question: what happens if Chauvin walks? Well, for me, it should be the same as if he is found guilty. Either way, we got work to do in our community, in each and every city, in each and every state across the nation. We should be asking ourselves, what is our relationship with our local law enforcement agency? What's your relationship like with your police department? Do you have what some people will call a collaborative? What are the rules of engagement? Do you have good, positive relationships with the leadership of these police departments? Because the real issue is bigger than Derek Chauvin. The real issue is the reforms that need to be put in place so we can have a more responsible relationship in each and every city across this country with law enforcement, right? That's what it's about. It's about qualified immunity. It's about policy. It's about setting rules in place so that everybody knows what to expect. Setting policy in place that reflects the desires of the community. And no matter what happens to Derek Chauvin, that needs to take place, again, in my humble opinion. All right. Again, I'll say it that when I play campaign ads, they are not endorsements. They're simply campaign ads. I am not personally endorsing anyone. This is a media platform, and we offer access to people to our exclusive audience here. So check this out, and I'll be back on the other side.
Hello, I'm Mr. Same Old Same Old. I'm running for mayor.
Hold up. Haven't you run for a bunch of offices always promising change but doing nothing?
Yeah, but
nothing. I'm not voting for the same old politicians to clean up City Hall and create change. We need to vote Profit for mayor. He will be bold, courageous, fair, and stop corruption at City Hall. I'm voting for Profit. Profit for people.
I'm Raphael Profit, and I'm asking for your vote, as I will do what is right, what is just, and what is fair. Paid for by Profit for Mayor, Dwight Crawford, Treasurer.
All right. Remember, folks, the same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. It's not what you're made of. I'm sorry, it's what you're made of, not the circumstances. Everybody goes through something. You're going to have all kind of things outside of your grasp, outside of your control. What you do, how you react to that is really what will make the difference in your life. All right. Listen, I hope you have an excellent and powerful day. I wish I could stay with you longer, but I got to make a move. I'll be back with you and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. We'll chop it up. Please like and in particular share this, family, because this show still has value even though after we're live. It's a fairly brand new, compared to the legacy media in Cincinnati, we babies. This is a brand new show, essentially. You got some of these media platforms that have been around for 20, 30, 100 years. We are babies at this. We brand new at this. And please check out our podcast on our CDM, that's Sin Digital Media page. I'm sure you're going to find something that you like. Please like and share. I appreciate you. All right. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. And we'll kick it up again tomorrow morning. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.